In 1998, Walt Disney Presents Walt Disney's Mulan was released, and it was a hit. A story about a girl whose father is called to war to stop the Khan or some shit, but she's like, no, I don't want you to go, daddy. And so she goes but she can't fight because she doesn't have a penis, so she has to pretend she has a penis. And then she friggin' saves all of China. Shit, I should have researched this. There's an avalanche and she gets hurt, and then wouldn't you know it, her boobies get discovered. And so they're like, you can't be in this army. You don't. What are you doing? But then she comes back and is like, no, we gotta save the emperor, and they save the emperor, and everybody lives happily ever after, and she falls in love with Chinese Donny Osmond, and it's a great story. Oh, and also she's got a red dragon that helps her out. But now it's 2020, and Disney is just blowing our minds by remaking this film with real actors this time. But there is no red dragon. This time around, it's about a girl whose dad is called to war, but he can't walk too good. And so she's like, no, I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm gonna go to war instead of you. But Mulan, you can't do that. You don't even have a penis. But then she goes and trains and she becomes a real good soldier. But then she reveals that she's a woman, and they're like, get out of here. You can't do this. You're not part of the Dick Club. And so she dejectedly goes away, but then she comes back because she finds out that the emperor's in danger. And they save the emperor, and everybody lives happily ever after. And also, the bad guy has a bird that is sometimes a lady, but also sometimes just a lot of birds. And everybody learns a real valuable lesson about how when a male bunny and a female bunny are running next to each other, who can tell them apart? The movie looks pretty darn good. It's got there's just some great shots done. The action is choreographed really well, I assume. Hard to tell with all the jump cuts. There's not a lot to say about this, other than the fact that I thought that it was going to be a cut above from the other remakes. It looked like it was maybe going to take the story in a different direction with the addition of that new character, but it really doesn't. It is really just the same story, but now it's a little bit less fun because there's nowhere near as much charm or humor. It's competently shot. It looks great in terms of cinematography and in terms of, color. The costumes look great. The sets look great. It looks wonderful. There's some great performances by some great Chinese actors, but the whole thing feels very hollow. Very, very hollow. And I don't know why, because there's clearly a lot of talent that went into making this movie. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that the story was written by non-Chinese people, that it was directed by a non-Chinese woman, that the art design was done by mostly non-Chinese people. I don't know. I think it's great that we've got a film that has an exclusively Chinese cast, but because there's so little Chinese talent behind the camera, I wonder if that's what contributed to this film feeling so cynical and hollow. I don't know. I don't know. The only thing I do know is that men and women are equally effing. We're all just a bunch of bunnies, and when we start running next to each other, you can't tell us apart. Women can do anything men can do, and I'm giving this movie a. Let's go with a 6 out of 10. It's, if it pops up on your feed when you're going through Disney Plus, after December 4th, definitely give it a watch. It's entertaining. Don't spend $30 on it. Not worth it. Let me know what you guys thought about Mulan. If you've seen it already, or if you're waiting, let me know that too. Also, give me a thumbs down if you hated this. Conversely, if you like this, please give me a thumbs up. It really does a lot for my self-esteem. I love you all. Still a video about Star Trek that's coming out soon. And then there's going to be a video about the SNES. So look forward to that.